In the vast and rich tradition of Greek mythology, we find echoes and guidance in the Stoic figures, emblems of resilience, prudence, and courage. These ancient sagas convey timeless lessons, urging us to reflect on our actions within the delicate web of human relationships. Gods and heroes, through their challenges and triumphs, become life's teachers, offering us valuable keys to navigate life's complexities with virtue and determination. Thus, through the exemplarity of their deeds, a path illuminated by Stoic wisdom is revealed, inviting us to journey through life with steadfastness, firmly holding the helm of our essence. Achilles, the invincible warrior whose only weakness was hidden in his heel, embodies the Stoic principle of safeguarding one's vulnerabilities. This legend teaches us that, even in the face of the toughest challenges, one must preserve their inner strength, showing steadfastness in front of opponents and life's adversities. Achilles' heel symbolizes the hidden vulnerabilities that each of us carries, reminding us that true strength does not reside in being indestructible, but in managing and protecting our weak points with wisdom and discretion. In this narrative, the warrior does not let his vulnerability define him. Rather, he lives a life of heroism, courage, and honor, demonstrating that humans can rise above their limitations. The Greek hero teaches us that accepting and protecting our weaknesses is not an act of denial, but one of deep self-awareness and maturity. The Stoic lesson here is clear. While external challenges are inevitable, our reaction to them, through an attitude of strength and resolve, truly defines our character. Through the figure of Achilles, we learn the importance of facing life with a sense of dignity and self-esteem, never allowing our inner vulnerabilities to become prey to the eyes of others. He shows us that even in moments of maximum exposure, we can maintain a sense of control and personal integrity, turning our weaknesses into a bastion of inner strength, rather than a sign of surrender. This teaching urges us to reflect on our conduct, encouraging us to pursue an existence where strength of character and tenacity become the pillars on which we build our life, in a perfect balance between self-acceptance and aspiration to virtue. Reflecting on ancient wisdom, a fundamental principle for the Stoic man emerges: caution in exposing one's faults. This teaching is rooted not in the fear of judgment, but in the understanding that every word and action should serve to build, rather than weaken, the fabric of our relationships. In this context, discretion becomes a bulwark of respect and dignity, both personal and mutual. When it comes to the mistakes made, the Stoic approach invites internal reflection, an examination of one's conscience that precedes any confiding. Mistakes from this perspective are seen as silent teachers, whose lessons settle in the soul before being possibly shared. Wisdom lies in discerning which of these lessons can enrich mutual understanding and growth, without weighing down the heart and mind of the other with the burden of one's own falls. The art of communication, therefore, is refined under the guidance of this principle, becoming a means through which intimacy deepens without transforming vulnerability into a weapon against oneself. True strength, according to the Stoic view, resides in the ability to transform mistakes into bridges towards greater mutual understanding, carefully selecting the moments and manners in which these are revealed. This practice of measured sharing is based on the conviction that not every truth needs to be immediately exposed in its raw reality. Sometimes silence and consideration prepare a more fertile ground for personal and couple growth, where the mistakes of the past become the lessons of the present, illuminated by the lamp of wisdom rather than the blinding light of remorse or blame. In this context, the Stoic man moves with an intentionality that respects the sanctity of the space shared with another, maintaining a serenity that is not indifference, but a conscious choice to build rather than destroy. Mistakes, therefore, remain custodians of valuable lessons, revealed with the same care with which one chooses a gift for a loved one, knowing that what is shared will lead to the construction of a more authentic and resilient bond. In this light, discretion becomes an expression of deep love, knowing when silence is golden and when words can be silver. The Stoic man on this journey becomes the guardian of a wisdom that knows how to balance transparency and reserve, aware that the true strength of a relationship resides in the ability to nurture, with every choice and word, the garden of shared intimacy. The balance of desires is a fundamental pillar in the philosophy of life for those who follow the path of Stoicism. The wise man knows that the heart of passions can easily drag the human soul towards tumultuous horizons, far from the tranquility of serene waters. This principle teaches that it is through the moderation of one's desires and aspirations that one maintains a steady course amid the storms of life. In the context of relationships, this wisdom translates into a careful balance between giving and receiving, between the desire for closeness and the need for space. Temperance thus becomes a compass that guides the Stoic man in respecting the rhythms and needs of the other, without suffocating them with excessive expectations or unreasonable demands. This virtue teaches to cultivate a presence that is support and not a chain, allowing the relationship to flourish in a climate of mutual respect and deep understanding. Through the temperance of desires, the Stoic man offers a shining example of how to love with wisdom, preserving the harmony and shared happiness. This teaching not only ennobles the individual, but elevates the entire fabric of the relationship, making it a safe refuge where both partners can grow and thrive. The control of emotions represents a cornerstone for those pursuing Stoic wisdom, symbolizing maturity and inner balance. On this journey, the Stoic man learns to manage emotional storms with serenity, preventing them from clouding the clarity of the mind or disturbing the harmony of the most cherished relationships. This practice does not deny the importance or validity of emotions, but teaches instead to channel them constructively so they can enrich and not destabilize coexistence. In everyday interactions, especially in those of love, this teaching translates into a capacity for active listening and authentic expression, where each feeling finds space and respect, without overwhelming the dialogue or mutual understanding. It is through this judicious management of emotions that the Stoic man builds a solid and deep bond, founded on sincerity and trust, where every word and every silence become witnesses of a mature and aware love. The respect for privacy, a fundamental concept in Stoicism, manifests in the wisdom of keeping secrets and the most intimate issues to oneself, reflecting the strength and integrity of the individual. This principle invites the Stoic man to carefully evaluate what he chooses to share, recognizing that true intimacy does not reside in total exposure, but in the ability to maintain a sacred and personal space where the most authentic self can take refuge and regenerate. In a relationship, this approach not only protects the individual core of each partner, but also promotes a climate of trust and mutual respect. Not indiscriminately pouring every thought or personal experience into the other becomes a gesture of deep love and consideration, strengthening the bond through the understanding that some gardens of the soul thrive in silence. Through the maintenance of this sacred privacy, the Stoic man demonstrates that the value of a relationship is not measured by the quantity of secrets shared, but by the quality of the bond that is able to cultivate, respecting the spaces of the other as extensions of one's own. The strength in the silence of pain is a Stoic principle that extols inner resilience. This virtue manifests in the ability to face adversities and pain without letting these define our interaction with the outer world. The Stoic man, aware of his own battles, chooses to carry them with dignity, without making them weigh on others, especially in the most intimate relationships. This approach does not mean denying the pain or stifling one's emotions, but rather finding the strength to go through it with composure, thus offering an example of courage and stability. In a relationship, this ability to maintain a serene harbor even in emotional storms becomes a pillar on which to build a deep and lasting bond, inspiring mutual admiration and respect. The balance in pleasures, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, guides the man in the pursuit of a measured and meaningful life. This principle teaches the importance of enjoying life's pleasures with wisdom and moderation, recognizing that excessive indulgence can lead to negative consequences, both for the individual and for their relationships. Pleasure, as attractive as it may be, must be balanced with duty and responsibility to maintain internal harmony, and that with the surrounding world. In the heart of affectionate relationships, this moderation manifests in the ability to value the moments spent together, avoiding falling into the continuous search for increasingly intense or new experiences. It is about finding joy in simplicity, and cultivating gratitude for what one has, rather than constantly chasing new excitements or material pleasures that can distract from the true meaning of union and intimacy. By incorporating this teaching into everyday life, the Stoic man demonstrates that it is possible to build lasting and profound relationships based on shared values and mutual appreciation, rather than on a continuous search for external stimuli. Moderation thus becomes not only a personal practice, but also a gift for the other, an expression of love and respect that strengthens the bond and promotes authentic and sustainable happiness. Through moderation in pleasures, the road to a deeper understanding of love and friendship is opened, where the value of presence and authentic sharing surpasses any other form of ephemeral gratification. This Stoic vision illuminates the path to a life of meaning, where relationships are nourished by quality, not quantity, by depth, not superficiality, outlining a path of shared growth and lasting happiness. At the heart of Stoic wisdom lies a vision of love that exalts balance, sincerity, and emotional depth. This love, far from being a chaotic force that overwhelms without discrimination, is instead a sentiment guided by rationality and constructive intent. The Stoic man, in this context, demonstrates his affection not through flashy gestures or discomposed words, but through measured actions and constant support that arise from a deep understanding of the needs of the other. Through the exploration of these 8 themes, a portrait of the Stoic man emerges, who, with discretion and wisdom, weaves the threads of his relationships. This guide not only illuminates the path to a harmonious and meaningful existence, but also underscores the importance of building bonds based on authentic values and mutual respect. On the path of Stoicism, the man discovers that it is the quality of his presence, the depth of his commitment, and the sincerity of his love that define the richness of his life and his relationships. This journey, steeped in ancient wisdom, invites us to reflect on our actions and the way we choose to live and love, promoting an existence where integrity, temperance, and deep self-awareness blend to create a life of true meaning. If Stoic wisdom and the path to a more balanced and meaningful life speak to your heart, we invite you to join our community. Subscribe to our channel, activate the bell to not miss any updates, and share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Together, we can further explore these ancient truths, applying them to modernity for a life full of virtue and happiness. Join us on this journey of discovery and personal growth.